The Torah tells us that at one point, when Moses was in the palace of Pharaoh, he went out among his Jewish brethren, and he saw how they were so cruelly enslaved. And he identified with them. And he put his shoulder underneath the heavy burdens that they were carrying in order to feel their suffering. And there's an important message there. It is not enough to feel sorry for someone. Yes, compassion is great. But in order to really have compassion, one has to be able to identify with people. What effect could it have had on the burden of the slaves, 600,000 of them, if Moses put his shoulder under the burden? How much did that relieve them? But that was not his point. His point was not to relieve them of their suffering by sharing with them, but to feel their suffering, to know what it is like, because that is the making of a leader. And that's important for all of us, because we ought to be able to identify with people in need. There's a story of the rabbi who went collecting for money for the poor, and it was a cold winter day, and he knocked on the door of a prospective donor. The man came out, and the rabbi said, "I'm here to collect for the poor." And the man said, "Please, Rabbi, come in." And the rabbi said, "No, we're going to stand here in the cold. The poor do not have money for fuel. I want you to feel what it is like not to have money to keep warm." And so, in order to really have compassion, we have to identify. And our great teacher Moses taught us this by putting his shoulder underneath the heavy burdens.